is a prophecy?
This is simply answered in the following way. It is a knowing of close proximity when the variables have not yet been altered. Do you understand? So when there is a prophecy, there are certain things that if the variables are not movable, they are mounted, so to speak, that would be a assured prophecy. Prophecy being a foretelling, as you know, or a knowing of things to come that yet have not yet happened in your realm. But this is quite interesting, as there are simultaneous ongoings which sometimes intertwine and sometimes interact, which can change what is occurring in your realm. It all also has to do with the contribution of the current society that is in the domain of your realm, and that current society, as we will call it, the collective, and their contributions can alter some aspects of eventuality. We will say it that way. This is difficult, but a prophecy with firm mounting points that are absolutely determined is quite rare. There are some things with certain variables, and some people will steer. Since a prophecy has been declared, it is energy, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
And those energies will reside in others and people's thinking that it is true, in their thoughts and their projection, and therefore contributing to its fruition.
Okay.
Exactly. So a prophecy that is unheard would have less chances of fulfillment. But yet, the prophecy variants are greatly and determined. But the high contribution of the thought processes of the collective, being adamant that there is a particular outcome in addition to one's steering it for the desired outcome, greatly contributes. Things that are mounted and firm, we will call it, are ones that are based on, you know it as history, things occurring. So, for example, would it be a prophecy to say the moon will be full at a certain time, or a new moon? Would that be a prophecy? Would it be a prophecy? These are fixed.
Okay.
These are mounted based on natural and universal law. This is what free will coming into play cannot affect the moon or the rotation of the cosmos and the planets therein. Frequencies, once a thought is thought, that energy exists. It is circulating, and that circulation contributes. Free will, of course, is always the variant.
Incredible.
So I have a question, because I got a message, but if that's okay, if I'm able to ask a question regarding the
Yeah,
message
hey,
that I got.
it's just like a call-in, but you're showing up.
So my message was a vision to see, to guide, not set in stone. A message, a warning. You have a choice to listen, change, to guide, to share with many. Some can be twisted to fit one's perspective, veering from the truth.
True, that's translation.
Mm-hmm.
That would be just like rewriting a book, especially from another language, right? Translation perspective. Interesting. What was your question?
Twisted, manipulated. And the question?
So my question was, because you know, people will get them, and when they twist them from the truth, is it still set, or does it veer off from that?
Because of the co-creation part aspect.
Mhm.
When the reality or truth is twisted, as you say, altered and manipulated to fit one's agenda, we will say one's agenda, then it is, we will say, the mouthpiece of the ones doing the twisting. It is the ears that select whether or not they choose to entertain that information. That variable depends on the knowing of the collective to use discernment or to fully trust. Sometimes information is controlled, and depending on the amount of alternative, we will say information. But of course, this could steer the collective. Not 100% of the collective will believe or allow that to be their only truth. There is a certain percentage, but as the percentage is varied, then the probabilities vary.
Okay.
I hope that was satisfactory, or would you like us to elaborate? Did that answer and satisfy your curiosity?
It does. Thank you so much.
Do you see so in a very mainstream religion, and just to sum it up, I guess you could say Christianity, I'm not sure. I mean, there's lots of religions that go with these stories, but there's a belief about like a second Christ, or something like coming, like the whole story is kind of like the end of the world, and then Jesus coming back, or whoever. I'm not sure about the stories on specifics, but coming back and saving like the non-sinners, or whoever is not denying God and whatnot. Now, I don't necessarily need you to, I mean, you could just say whatever you believe that is most helpful for the collective. Not, I mean, of course, we're not going to shut anyone's belief down, because everything is purposeful, especially, you know, if someone believes it wholeheartedly. Of course, creation of new beginnings is what Laura says. Okay. So is there anything prophetic wise, would that be a word, prophecy wise, in regards to any of that happening in the linear time of now?
The mainstream interpretation is, as all of you know, we will not reiterate that, but there was many aspects of this that have been, shall we say, removed and deleted from the overall gathering of the literature. And this has allowed many unknown points from awareness, from consciousness of the collective. So the main awareness of the collective is the main story, which we will not reiterate in this regard. To answer your question, as we said previously, when there is a common understanding and a common focal point that heightens the actuality of it coming to fruition, in addition to others desiring this. This is layered. We will say layered. So never to diminish the value of the exquisite eternal being you understand, who refer to as Jesus Christ. This eternal being is a consciousness so pervasive and so astounding, and some of you may not want to hear this, and we apologize, that it is extremely contributory even to our collective, we shall have you know. And we are delighted to receive contribution. This may be what some may deem as what you refer to as blasphemy or these type of things, but we say to you, any focal point based in love and common contribution of blending hearts and creations for the greater good balances many things, and in that we celebrate. But we will say also in reference to your apocalyptic reference, as we are aware of this, and there are aspirations to have a show, we will say. But for the, we will say there is no second coming, as it is already ever existence and ever accessible. And that is what we are here to deliver. You ask the question, you may decide that you have heard enough, you may decide that this resonates deeply with your heart. But we are here to tell you, it is not to have one navigate from a place of love.
Would it be safe to say that this second coming would be more of an awakening to our own Christ consciousness?
That is not the common, but yes, that is one of the, it is difficult because it is not the introduction and the, that we are giving the vehicle the term ravages, because that's what truly what the literature was ravaged. We will say that. This is not going to be easy for some to hear. But ravaged, and ravaged by tearing apart, you see. So in this aspect, that is a new dawn, you will say, a new there is a reference of 1,000 years, the golden years, and this is quite accurate. So that part is, yes, indeed, there are many accurate components, and some components placed there. So you see, if you have a savior to intervene and save, so to speak, and there is situations going on, you would say, but why do anything? The Savior will intervene. I will not do anything. I will not cause change. I will not expand in other ways. I am waiting for this. And this is indeed why it is placed, is to cause complacency.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
I do.
And
I do.
for odd years, some will reject, and that is fine. You will see, you will know, you will experience. When you cross over, you will know everything there is in an instant. Most of you who are not unwilling to know.
How beautiful. How beautiful.
Hope
Laura says she agrees. An awakening to many understanding what is real, ? An awakening to many understanding what is real.
Complacency is their strength.
Yes. Yes. If you do not change it, you choose it. So, what did you get, Crystal? Did you get something?
I sat in that one and I just absorbed it all.
It's a good one. I see lightning bugs behind you every once in a while. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cool when it fills the tree behind me, and it's like the tree is twinkling.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. That was so beautiful. And you know, I just loved everything about that. That was very beautifully put and very subtle in its way too. So hopefully a lot heard, and whatever resonates, of course keep it. And if it doesn't resonate, that's okay. It's perfectly okay.
There is one that comes to mind. You will know by the fruit.
Know by the what?
The fruit.
The fruit. An apple?
What is produced? The quality. Does it provide nutrition? Is it beautiful? The fruit. As you see before you, would you say the vehicle produces an edible or fruit of hate or fruit of love?
Love for sure.
You produce.
Okay.
This is what we need.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, good. Because I was lost. I was going to ask like 500 questions, but you knew that. That's why you hurried and answered or clarified. I really like that. So what do we produce? It kind of goes with the whole pollination thing that Sherry was on last week or the week before about, how we could pollinate each other. What medicine do we bring to help gift another? How do we feed another, through love or through bad intention or through good intention? That's our pollination. I really like how you brought the fruit
We
part.
bring this to your attention as this is one aspect of your literature, your holy literature that is completely beneficial. Many aspects are received and help many people flourish, and the prayers are seen as streams. We see them. They are absolutely beautiful. So we do not want to say that when we say ravaged, we mean that it was taken apart, tore up in some aspects, but it does not diminish the overall value of many components of the literature. This is why we clarify that. Just as the information of planting seeds. Many, you refer to them as parables, and they were spoken of wisdom, knowing, and heart, mind, body, and spirit all combined into one essence in the glory of love. Every word that was delivered was in love. And still is in love.
Yes.
Ravaging the text was not in love. We tell you that. It was not. Ravaging the text was for self promotion and control of the masses, you see.
Yeah. There's so much of many religions that resonate, and really what it boils down to is the fruit. It was the intention, was the love, the message. If the message was of ill intention, I felt that. I growing up, my only communication was energy. Like I wasn't good with my words, or I was too good with my words, but that was usually in defense, or being funny. But as far as heart to heart and for truth, I always took to the feeling, the intention. And so any person who would speak to me or we would have conversation, whether it was religious or not, that's not the point. I felt the words, I felt it.
This talent has been diminished, but is increasing. Many Mammalian and non-mammalian species have the ability to energetically interpret whether friend or foe, whether love or harm is meant.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. You see this in the, as you refer to, animal kingdom, all species. So allow yourself to energetically communicate with your furry friend, and let them feel you,
Mm-hmm.
and let them know, and your non-furry friends.
I love that. I love it so much. It's incredible. Yeah, I think that's how when I first was starting to recognize, I mean, probably when I was younger, it was more just natural. Then I had a stop or a stage where I kind of blocked um, the deeper connection, the more the awareness of the connection is what was I had stopped or resisted for a little stage in my life, and then going back into that. That's how, especially at the beginning, is how I was resonating with everything, was just feeling into it. You know, if it was another like an entity or even just a being, period. And that's how I was doing my coaching. I did more coaching. Now I'm doing more healing, but I still coach. But you know, even with coaching, I would just feel into anything, or even just with my friends, I'd feel into what they needed and allow things to just kind of flow through me. And I think that, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with just that energy, with being able to tap into that energy signature of whatever is either needed or
What would
being
you say
received.
is key to doing that? What would be the first thing you would recommend to one?
What was that?
What is the first thing you would recommend to one that wanted to tap in, as you can say it? What is the first thing that you would recommend to someone who doesn't know how to tap in?
Okay. Okay. Probably, well, I would probably tune into yourself first. Learn yourself and how you actually feel. So that way the interpretations are not mixed. But you could also do this with loved ones, people that you already trust. You can have them tell you a story and have them decide, you know, either tell me a story that's truly from your heart or a made up story that would still be loving, but you could tell the difference. You'll be able to tell the difference between something that is truly from their passionate heart, that core, you know, the fruit of them, or just another beautiful story that they really loved out of a book. And then after they tell you, and then you say, okay, well, that was true, or that was from a book, then you can get that validation and maybe go from there. I think really it's learning yourself first, though, I believe. What do you think, Crystal?
So I answered the question before the money asked.
Oh, yes.
So, so I mean, like, what I think is betterment of self, of people, good love, you know, sitting into that, definitely you connect.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like my motto is like, every day is a new day. And what can I do to grow and to become a better person?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. What would you say, the money, on sharing with someone who doesn't understand the term of tapping in? How would you guide someone to the first steps of that?
Awareness of thoughts, allowing one to be conscientious. Thoughts circulate at a vast number. Each individual has multiple thoughts, even circulating with, it almost seems simultaneously, but to be aware of one's thoughts will be keys and clues to things that are not beneficial to you, or not allowing you to understand. It will allow you to understand, in other words. Awareness of thoughts would be the first thing we would say, and to tapping in You're tapping into that first. And once you are aware of your thoughts, when you become aware of ones that are not beneficial to you, you can learn to not allow them to stay, dismiss them, and replace them in gratitude. Gratitude is what opens the door for many things. You should be grateful for your intuition and your tuning in, as you call it. If you are not grateful for it, it will not flourish.
Beautiful,
This is
beautiful.
what we would focus on, your thoughts and gratitude.
I love that, the awareness behind them, especially. Laura says, listen to your heart and feel the chakras. And if anyone on here that is listening do not know what chakras are, they are energy centers in our energy body, right? So chakra actually means will. And so it's this energy center, but they spin, because energy, it's in movement, it's in motion. And we have several chakra points, and each energy point holds a specific frequency for specific things in order to manifest into this experience. If I'm wrong, then many please share. Or if you'd like to add in, either of you, please add in, of course.
I said, so I simply put, just tune in. Just tune yourself to those frequencies. Once you're tapped in, you'll recognize them. And the more that you recognize that energy, the more you can grow into it and become easier to tap in.
So I have an exercise. If you don't know what tapping into a frequency is, here is a beautiful way to learn. So sit, and whether you do this right now or later, you could sit and you take a couple deep breaths in and out. And this is just to calm and center yourself. So kind of let go of all the stresses and worries and that busy monkey mind. And you just kind of chill. Okay. And then you bring up a word and you say the word love. And then witness, thank you, the many, witness your body react to that word. Okay, so the word love, what comes up for you? In your body, there's going to be a reaction. What comes up? You are feeling the frequency of that word. And then you take a couple deep breaths in and out, clear that out, go back to that neutral state, then say the word hate. And witness the reaction in your body. That is the frequency of that word. And therefore you have an example of what frequencies are and how to differentiate a little bit. So even practicing that. And if you practice that, you could tune in and then you just kind of memory stamp. Okay, so that feeling felt really light and airy and woo, like excited. Maybe you got energy, whatever it is to you is perfectly fine. It's your truth. And that's the only thing that matters. And then you'll know that you'll remember that frequency, that feeling, that emotion, that reaction to the other word, to the opposite, to that word hate. So then you'll have this memory stamp of those two frequencies. Since there's such a duality between them, that's a really good scale to go off of. So then when you're talking to someone and you're picking up their frequency, you're picking up their vibe, you're picking up their energy, you can see where that scale they are at. Are they in the middle? Are they closer to the love? Are they closer to that hate feeling? And then you will be literally tapped in.